So, hi guys. Tonight we want to talk about something that me and specifically Limi have been trying to do for the past few months,
And I'm here to support them.
and that's basically we've been actually avoiding eating meat and chicken if we don't know where the source is from. So, and we just want to explain why we're doing that basically.
Yeah. And in no way are we trying to impose what we are doing on other people, but we do think it's something that people should be aware of. Basically, especially in the industrialized world, obviously when you're living in a country where there's a lot more social control on how animals are treated, this might not be as relevant for you, but if you're buying your meat from any type of supermarket, then I think this is something that you should be paying attention to. A lot of Muslims are kind of concerned about the meat being halal, right? That's the main thing. Like, as long as it's halal, we don't really ask questions. But there's so many other things in terms of how animals should be treated and how meat should be regarded as Muslims, how we should be treating animals.
We've been
In general?
basically questioning the concept of halal. We're trying to look at it in the larger context, because halal, although the slaughtering is a big part of it, there's also another part, and that's if the animal itself and its life beforehand was tayyib, which means pure and wholesome. But we think that these days, the only thing that these big companies and everything, halal meat commissary organizations, the only thing they really focus on largely is the slaughtering business, basically. And that process, and we've noticed that there's not many regulations in place.
On whether it's type, so whether this animal has been treated properly before it was slaughtered. So the steak that you might be eating was slaughtered properly, but if before that it was amongst other animals and it was in a cage and it never got to see proper grass, then how well was that animal's life really? And then does it really make a difference if it's been slaughtered in a particular way?
And also it's also another thing with the animals being the right size when it's being slaughtered. It's not just about any animal being slaughtered, and although the slaughtering is done in the right way, but if the animal is not in the right size and it's not
In the right health, in the right mental state, because animals, as humans, like we shouldn't be regarding them as less than us, like especially from an Islamic point of view. Like, there's no differentiation in animals and humans. Like, we should be treating them equally. Like,
animals have been given so many rights in Islam. Like, I don't know if people are even like aware of this, but in Islam, the way Allah talks about us, humans and animals, is no different. He refers to the animals as Muslims as well. And for me, and I know for my friends here, like, it's, if you look at how much respect is given to animals in Islam, and even the respect to the way it should be slaughtered, as in an animal is not even allowed to hear or see another animal being slaughtered. The Prophet even said, don't let the animal die twice, as in don't let it see or hear another animal being killed. So if that's how strict the guidelines are for it being killed, then how strict must the guidelines be for its lifestyle and everything?
Also, when slaughtering itself, you're told to just use a very sharp knife so that you don't have to make this animal suffer as you're trying to slaughter it.
So I know in a lot of countries, including the UK, when it comes to how the animal was slaughtered, the process and the inspection is pretty on point, basically. And I know that they do, to the best of their ability, they follow the guidelines slaughtering. But what we're trying to get across is that's good, and we're happy with that. But what we're trying to get across is that's not just what makes an animal halal. It's not. And sorry, go on.
Even if, because I know there will be people watching that thinking, oh, but it is halal. Like, if it's slaughtered properly, then it is halal. Even if it's halal, you have to ask yourself, is it right though? Is it right for you to eat an animal that has literally suffered just so you can eat it? So, and that's kind of what we've been thinking, like, is that really what we want? Do I want to, for those 10 minutes of me enjoying my food, is it really worth for an animal to suffer throughout their whole lives? Like, I'm not a scholar, like I'm
Don't
not
wanna-
trying to
yeah.
I'm not trying to impose
Just
my
like
views
opinion.
onto anyone else. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But this is what I've found very questionable.
Yeah.
That it's something that people need to think about. It's not something that we're sure of or we know enough about to be educating other people properly as to what they should be doing. But what they should be doing is questioning it.
Exactly.
And every time you eat meat and you buy meat, that even though it's certified as halal, just realize that what you're eating might not be correct according to what our religion teaches us, though.
That's all.
Even though it has a
Same.
little halal sticker, that doesn't mean anything.
Okay, let's begin.
I
And
don't
like
know.
and like we said, as Muslims, I personally think that we should be one of the most active in society when it comes to like welfare. And like I said, animals have been given so many rights
Yeah.
and things. And I just lost my point.
I think a lot of Muslims are really unaware of this.
Yeah.
And they're not actively kind of trying to bring about that change, which would be a good thing, like, you know.
Yeah, no. So basically, what I was trying to get across is the fact that I just think that there needs to be a bit of an awakening in the Muslim community. Basically, we just kind of like we see that something says halal. You drive to a restaurant, a takeaway, whatever. You see the halal sign in Arabic, and you're like, okay, cool, I can eat here. We see the HMC certificate. We're like, cool, it's all good. But is it really? We need to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was speaking about this before, but unless there's an awakening, things are not going to change. Like, think about it. In the non-Muslim community, this whole rise of like people being concerned about animals, you know, you see like organic free range meat on supermarket shelves now. Even if you think back 3, 4, 5 years ago, this was
It wasn't
non-existent.
there, yeah.
Why has this come about? Because there's a demand for it.
Yeah.
There's a demand because there's an awakening.
Because
they
people
understood.
cared, like
Yeah.
people cared for the animals. Then it's not right for them to suffer so that we can eat them. We're not saying don't eat them at all, but only eat them under the right circumstances. Like, and unless you are 100% sure, I always say this, like when I go back to Tanzania, my grandma's gonna slaughter a chicken for me that's been walking around for like 2-3 years. And
Then you know, yeah.
then it's fine,
yeah.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But the way that Muslims in the West have been consuming meat, also the amount of meat is out of control. Like it's completely unnecessary. And if we look at the Sunnah and even the prophets before that, like they never used to eat that much meat.
It was now and again. It was like a special occasion.
Yeah, so Muslims in the West, man, we need to
I
change.
think there should be an awareness in
Yeah.
the Muslim community, and like even with the animals themselves, maybe Muslims need to wake up and keep animals themselves so that they can be able to cater for the Muslim community, because the Muslim community in the West is a large population, and
And it's increasing.
and we don't want to have a scenario whereby we are depending on the non-Muslims to bring up the animals, and we don't even know how these animals are brought up, because many of the times these animals suffer during their lifetime, and later on they become sick, and when they start getting sick they start slaughtering them. So that you have a high chance of even getting a health problem through eating this animal, just because they want to get rid of it. They're like, let's just slaughter it for us to sell it.
And because our influence in the West is growing, we need to take that opportunity and say, okay, listen, it's great that we have the opportunity to eat halal meat. Obviously that is great, but right now
it's a
we need to
privilege,
step
but-
it up a bit.
yeah.
Like we need to do better. We need to pay attention to these kind of, I wouldn't say small issues, but
I think it's a
because
big issue.
it is a
It's
big
been-
issue because
been
it's a
ignored,
daily
yeah.
thing. Like it's been ignored, but obviously in perspective, there's obviously bigger things that
Yeah.
are also bigger issues. But still, these are things that need to be tackled as well, and they're problems. And
And like in no way are we saying, okay, stop eating meat completely, because I know like many people, especially like our age, either you live at home and your parents do the shopping and things, but what we are saying is that you need to take small steps. Like there's not going to be a change overnight. Like I said, with like the non-Muslim community, they've had to fight for this.
Yeah.
And people at the beginning, like they were seen as idiots, the lunatics. The
Yeah.
authorities, didn't care, but now like look where they are, and I really hope, inshallah, like we'll be in the same place. So what we are saying is, just try to take things into your own hands. So for example, you're going out for dinner with friends and you have the active choice that you're not going to offend your mum or your relative or something, if they cook you meat, then go for a vegetarian option. You know, it's
and think about it, like,
that's
be
the
aware
first step.
of, yeah.
The first step is the awareness.
Even if you're not gonna do anything, be aware, because hopefully this video and kind of what we're trying to do as well, it will inspire people to create, to spread more awareness and to actually do something. But if you're not going to be one of those people that says, okay, I'm going to give up meat, that's fine. But as long as you have the awareness and you realize that, listen, this is a problem and it needs to be handled one way or the other, whether you're going to do that personally by not eating meat anymore, or hopefully when someone does step up and do something, you're going to support that cause and you're going to be like, yeah, this is something important, then that's great as well. But as long as you guys are aware, it's something that's been bothering us.
Yeah.
It's something that we've been discussing in our group of friends for a long time now, and we feel like we just need to kind of spread it out and share it with people.
Yeah. We feel like the next steps after like the awareness, it comes action. So I'm in the process of trying to basically run after some of these halal meat commissionary organisations in the UK. And I just want to say I have messaged a lot of them. I've been phoning, I've been emailing, because I've noticed on their websites and in their documents they do not have even one regulation and inspection that looks at the welfare and the life of the animal beforehand, the environment. And the fact that they're not responding, I don't know, maybe there's a reason, but to me it's quite suspicious. So I'm definitely going to be following this up. And yeah, I hope that this will basically just inspire some of you guys to do the same and just realise that as Muslims, like, we should care even more about the animals. And I don't know, it's a month of Ramadan, month of kind of putting your desires aside. So I don't know.
And even if you're watching this as a non-Muslim, you should still care.
Yeah.
Because
animal welfare is so important. We share, like, we're all on this earth together, basically, and we live in the same land and we share the same land and we owe a lot to the animals as well. Like, and
regardless of whether you're Muslim or not, you should care about them. And people care about their pets, so why would you not care about the animals that is going to provide you with food so that you can actually continue and live your life healthily? Like, we should care. We should all care.
We need to, like, basically step up and demand more from these committees that, you know, monitor, like, whether meat's halal or not. Because how are we supposed to know? Like you said, like, how are you supposed to know if an animal is sick or if it was in the right size? We can't know. So
they need to step up, but we also need to step up.
First step is awareness within ourselves and recognition within the community. And then
I think it starts with awareness. At the same time, you know, talking to our leaders to ask, like, you know, to demand for these regulations to be put across. That's the other thing. Because if we don't have that, and it starts from somewhere, because even if you do the awareness and you don't have people who are going to confront these people, there's nothing much that can be done.
So, which is why we're doing this video and hoping that people will take this up, spread it around as well, and create,
your family and friends,
help create some awareness and stuff. So we're gonna go sleep now, I think.
Okay.
On that note, we out.
Bye.
Salam.